No.
You don't?
I think he's going to try to outbox him and move. I won't call him a runner, but close.
Well, you gave him permission to use his feet if he wants. You said if he thinks he's going to get a knockout, he could use his feet if he wants instead of his hands.
So that's why I got him socks.
What kind of socks were they? Because we never saw.
It's a variety. In case he needed any, we had all different kinds for all different contingents.
And Manny, you
They
said,
were-
you know, they're talking about the socks. You said after your fight with Marquez the first time, I wore bad socks, my feet were hurt. It was on the Top Rank blog. So how is this bit about Bradley, you know, any wrong when you had the same issue? You made the exact same complaint.
I remember because his feet were bleeding right.
I was there in the back with you,
right? And he had a pair of cheap socks, and from that moment, we got a new sock deal. So it was pretty good.
So what about? I mean, but, you know, you guys are making fun of Bradley, but it seems like unfair when you make fun of him when you said the exact same thing he did.
We
What fight was
disagree.
that for? What fight was that for? The first Marquez fight.
We weren't losing him as an excuse. That was why we fought that way, though. I mean, he still fought through it. But, I mean, he was bleeding, yes, but the thing is, we never complained during the fight, and he never complained during the fight that his feet hurt. We're not really making fun of Bradley.
What we're complaining on that fight is it should be 10-6 the scorecard, not 10-7, because I dropped him down 3 times in the first one in that round. So it should be 10-6, not 10-7.
Since you brought it up, I mean, obviously that big fight with Seven. What's your thoughts on the notion of a potential fight with Marquez, you personally?
That's the fight we wanted first, but you know, we're anxious to get that back. But we know we have to look impressive in this fight for that to happen. 100%.
Does that factor into your motivation?
Bradley's enough motivation for me right now, one at a time. But I look forward to getting that fight back, though.
You want to comment on that, Manny? The notion of a potential fifth fight with Marquez?
I have no problem with the next fight, any opponent. I'm a boxer. I'm a fighter, so any opponent that the promoter wants to fight, it's not a problem.
Hey, Freddie.
Depends on my promoter.
Did you think your life changed after Manny lost the last fight? Because, you know, 2013, it turned out not to be a great year for you or, after that, right? Or 2012 turned out not to be a great year for you after that. You know, do you think it affected you in any way, you know, being on the losing side of it, that fight?
No, you know, the thing is, it just made me realize that I have to work harder and pick it up. And maybe I was taking it for granted because Manny's always been so good. But the thing is, he was fighting a good fight that night also, but he just stepped in 1 second too soon. And we knew this happens. And he's the most realistic person in the world because, I mean, the first time I met Manny Pacquiao, he wanted to show me some of his old fights. The first 2 fights he shows me is him getting knocked out. I said, why do you want to show me that? He says it's part of my life. It's part of boxing. And he understands that. So, you know, but you know, we did have a bad year, and then we had a great year next year. And I think the motivation for this, for me, to come back now, is coming off a real win. I thought it looked really good in that fight, about 3 minutes of every round, and I think if we do duplicate that kind of performance, I don't think Bradley will be able to hang with it.
You even said in that fight, though, that you thought Manny, you know, showed the compassionate side in that fight again, and that seems to be a problem that you particularly have brought up. How do you change that? Because if he's a compassionate guy, he's a compassionate guy, and you know, Manny hasn't had a knockout for 4 years. So.
Yeah, but in that fight, it was just like we didn't want to make a mistake like we did in the fight before. So that, you know, so that was part of the game plan. If you heard him, don't rush in there because we might still have something left. So we didn't want to make that mistake. And he did hurt him a couple times, I thought, but we know that he's a very tough guy and he takes good shots. So we didn't take any chances. You know, trying for a knockout. Because, again, you know, if you look for a knockout, bad things happen. But if it happens, it happens.
Can I ask both of you this question? Do you think the Cotto fight, because Cotto had only lost once, and that was the fight that Margarito had the gloves, issue. Do you feel like the Cotto fight was the peak of your career to this point, your best overall performance?